So pro tip here, don't put two printers running simultaneously on a table that jiggles. Here's my copy, you can see. If your table jiggles like that, don't put two printers on the table at the same time, or otherwise you'll end up with some real nasty shifting when you've got two printers printing the exact same thing at the exact same time. Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well out there. The folks over at Lotmaxx sent over their new version 2 of the SC-10 Shark. So again, this is the version 2. It is a dual extrusion printer, and in this video I want to give you a quick run through on it, some of the things that I like, some of the things I don't like, some of the changes, and just some of the overall impressions that I've got of this new printer. So let's jump in and take a look. Okay, so let's talk about some of the big differences between these two printers, between version 1 and version 2. So here we've got version 2, and let's start here with the print head assembly here. We can see that we've got a fan over here. We've also got a fan over here, and I believe there's also a fan in here. If we actually come and take a look over here, this also has a 3-fan assembly, but all of the air is having to come through here first, and then it gets moved over to all of these fans. So definitely an improvement in airflow design here, making sure that these fans are accessing fresh air from their sources versus everything coming through one area there. Let's go right actually below that and take a look here. So this is going to be your Z-axis stop point. This one's actually set up a little bit differently than it is over here on the version 1. This one actually uses a switch that maybe you can hear that, but that's it just has a bump switch right there, and that works. That's fine. But if we come over to here, instead of having a switch, this has actually got this little arm right here that goes into an interrupt. There's a little laser interrupt thing going on there. And when this comes down into here, that's actually when it knows to stop. And I will say mine was, unfortunately, this plastic piece was broken when I got mine. It popped right back on. It was fine. It still works. No issues there, of course. Next thing I really want to focus on here is the screen. This one was kind of big for me. Let me actually turn off. Yeah, there we go. So, in fact, we can see that that last print finished in 1 hour and 46 minutes. I printed it slow. I printed it lots of infill. That's why it took so long. But I wanted a good solid print out of it. But if we actually compare this over to the older version, it's not as bright. The older version isn't as bright. In fact, the actual screen here is smaller by quite a bit. Let me see if I can get... There we go. Yeah, you can really see there's quite a bit of difference in size as far as those screens are concerned. The other thing, just to kind of show this, I'm going to turn both of these off, and we'll let this sit for just a moment. And what I want to do is just turn both of them on so that you can see the screens as they start up. It's a much different experience, in my opinion, as far as that's concerned. And overall, I really do like the responsiveness of this screen better. It makes it feel more snappy, more responsive over this rolling thing that this one does. So I really do dig the bigger, better looking screen here. Also, since we're talking about these devices, the screens here, you can see that this one is fixed, whereas this one is not. This one is uses like a telephone cable kind of thing. This has got a big chunky plug right here, whereas again this has got just the old school phone cable style assembly there. So I've got lights on both of these. These are actually newer lights here that I installed using a 2020 assembly to just bolt through there. Works really well. Of course, these are things that I've added to my setup so that I could get my beds as bright as possible so I can take a look, kind of see what's going on. So you'll notice this one, the version 2, just like the version 1 there. These are both dual extrusion printers. They will take 2 different spools and work their magic with those. Man, focus is just the bane of my existence lately. So, so yeah, dual extrusion there. So you can get 2 color prints if you want to do that. And I like that this was so simple to install. It all kind of came together, and really there were just 4 screws up on the top, right here, 2 on this side, 2 on that side, to get the whole assembly put together. Super simple. I really do dig how easy they made that. Also, since we're talking about this, or we're up in this area, these are laser glasses, or eye protection for lasers, because this actually does come with a laser engraver system that I haven't tried out yet, but I need to. So that'll be something that hopefully we'll be able to get to later on in said video. Let's see what else. Let's take a look down here. Right there, just all of the data about it. The other printer had this as well. So since I just noticed it's 250 watts, 120 to 240. And when I first got the printer, got it all set up, it didn't work. And I was kind of freaked out a little bit, to be honest. There's a switch on the back, and it actually says right there, that yellow sticker says, "Hey, set the current to what your country uses." And I forgot to do that, so I did have to switch that over before I was able to use the printer. I actually panicked for a moment until I remembered that I needed to do that. So when I first reviewed, this is the version 1. When I first reviewed this printer, I made a comment that I wished that all of like the auto leveling, the dual head printer, the laser, and this USB, I said I wished that all of that had been moved to the back, so that there was less going on in the front to get in the way. Unfortunately, they didn't change that. All of this stuff is still on the front, which is unfortunate, but you know, you've got something long enough, you learn to live with it. But again, I wish all of that was on the back. I think, also one of the things I did to help improve my print and not get as much shifting is I did have to tighten the belt. This was pretty wobbly, which is fine. It's whatever. It's super easy to switch, or to tighten rather. 2 screws on this side, 2 screws on the other side, loosen them, pull this whole assembly back. You can see that it's on a slide right there. Get it tensioned where you want it, and then just retighten all those screws, and you can tighten that belt so that you don't have as much play and as much chance for slipping and that sort of thing. Okay, so now that we've taken a look at the printer and some of the similarities and differences from the version 1 to the version 2, let's actually do some printing. Okay, so I've got both of these printers set up. Over here, we've got the version 1 printer, and eventually I'll get focus. Over there, we've got the version 2 printer. Here we can see that it did something weird there in the middle that I need to clean up. Oh, just a little drizzle. No big deal. There we go. So we can see that I've got a bit more going on already as far as printing going on. If we catch it from this side, there we go. I've got a benchy going there, and it has been we've been going for about 5 minutes so far. There you can see it, maybe kind of right up there. And here we've also got a benchy going. And eventually I'll figure out focus. There we go. Also has been going for the same amount of time. I pressed go within seconds of each other here. And what I've noticed already is the version 1 seems to heat up faster. This actually started sooner because it got to temp faster than the version 2. And that could honestly be fixed with a firmware update pretty easily, I think. I believe so anyway. I could be wrong there, but I'm going to kind of give these some time to do their thing and see which one turns out better. With this one, with version 1, I am using eSun PLA Plus in black, and then over here I am using the green that came with the version 2 Lotmaxx SC-10 Shark. So we'll get an idea of what's going on when both of these are finished. Okay, so we're getting down to the very end of things here. We're getting down to the chimney. You can see that right there on the version 1. Let's come over here, take a look. Starting to get the very top of the chimney there. We're down to just the last couple of percent. And it looks like there's quite a bit of support material that'll need to come off of there. But once we've got all that off, we can take a look at the two, kind of compare them, and see how they turned out. Okay, so I'm actually just recording these because we're getting down to the very end. The version 1 actually started first by probably about 10 seconds or so because it managed to heat up faster. So we'll see how close the end is here. And printer 2 finished first, even though it got a later start. Now, we're not talking a huge difference here. I mean, this one's, there we go. I mean, just a few seconds there in difference. But again, this one did start, this number 1 did start quite a bit sooner, 10 to 15 seconds anyway, sooner than the number 2 there did. So pretty impressive there. So let's get them cleaned up and see how they look.
Eventually.
Okay, so these finished printing, and I got them cleaned up the best I could. They're not great looking, but that mostly has to do with the support material. Both of them kind of turned out that way. In fact, I almost destroyed this one trying to pull everything out. So I'm reprinting with no support, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so both of these finished printing, and of course they do look much better without the supports. Definitely don't need supports on Benchy. But one thing I wanted to mention, don't put 2 printers running simultaneously on a table that jiggles. Here's my copy, you can see. If your table jiggles like that, don't put 2 printers on the table at the same time, or otherwise you'll end up with some real nasty shifting when you've got 2 printers printing the exact same thing at the exact same time. So that's something to keep in mind there.
Later.
Okay, so here we've got another print on version 2, or on the second version of the printer. That's the first one. This is, of course, the second one. And this one's looking much better. It's just about done there. When it comes off, we'll take a look. But I just wanted to show this is on that second printer, the new version 2. So we can take a look at that as soon as this print comes off. All right, there it goes. Coming off the printer right there. Looking much better. All right, here we go. So, looking much better. Still a little shift. Not too bad, but a little shift there. Come on, focus. There we go. Looks like my retraction settings could be a little better. But not too bad using, this is the first thing I printed on this PLA Plus on this printer. So you got to figure out your different settings, but overall, all right, there we go. That's much better lighting for this. So overall, it looks pretty good. Little shift, not too bad, little shift, but a little retraction stuff I should probably adjust. Overall, much better print on here than what we got earlier. Let's say with this, I turned down my my speeds a little bit. I printed this at about 60 millimeters a second, and I printed this at 45, and it obviously turned out much better. So the version 2 printer comes with a laser engraver. So let's take a couple of moments to take a look at that process and what that looks like in the end. Okay, so let's take a look at taking this off so that we can install the laser engraver system here. This is actually pretty straightforward, really. It's just a couple of screws here and the other screw here. And then we can just kind of slide this back over here, just get it out of the way. And then we can take this assembly, and this just actually bolts in the exact same spot there. Okay, so now that part is installed, and then the next part we've got is actually this unit right here. This is actually what makes it connect to the system. And so basically what we want to do is, well, first off, there are, there we go. So first off, there are a series of pins, 2 rows of pins here. Unfortunately, they're not keyed. So you would hope that maybe they would remove 1 pin, so it would only go into the assembly. I'll go ahead and just show you here. So that will just plug into here. And of course, you'd want it to be keyed so that it could only go in one way. Unfortunately, it's not. But this sticker does say, hey, make sure that you attach this up under the y-axis. It's got the same extrusion as you would see up here, and that screw or that nut fits right in there. So you can do that, and then just make sure that everything lines up like so. And of course, tighten that screw underneath so that it does what it needs to do, and then you're ready to start printing. Okay, so now we have the laser engraver set up here. I know that's going to come across kind of weird. You're actually supposed to be wearing the included red goggles that come with this. So I'm going to see if I can get, there you go. That kind of gives you an idea of what that looks like when I'm wearing them, when I'm looking at it. And then this is actually going pretty quickly here. So I'm going to record this, but we'll do a little time-lapsey thing here. If I can I can learn how to use my camera a little better. All right, let's slide that out, and there we go. We can kind of see what that looks like. There we go. And if we come over to here, and if I record my screen a little bit, there we go. There was the source file in the Lotmaxx download. There we go. In the Lotmaxx downloads page, just so you can kind of get an idea, maybe not have to do quite as much troubleshooting as I did in order to just even get, just to get that. If we come over to here, this was a black and white. The power, the lower this number is, the more power you're going to get. Travel speed, of course, is travel speed. That's how fast it's going to go. The attribute black and white, or B&W there, is how dark should that look. And then, of course, translate over to the burn. And then, of course, there is your platform size. Okay, guys, there is the Lotmaxx SC-10 Shark version 2. I want to give a big shout out to Lotmaxx for sending this over and letting me take a look at it. I'm really enjoying 3D printing these days and being able to compare, again, the version 1 versus the version 2. There's definitely some things about the version 2 that I really do like. If you'd like to check one of these out or get one for yourself, I will have some links in the description down below where you can go ahead and do that and take a look at this for yourself. So if you've got any questions about it, definitely leave those in the comment section down below. But I think for now, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. As always, thanks for your time. I always appreciate your support, and I'll talk to you in the next video.